All right, welcome back, YouTube. It's been a really frustrating 30 minutes or however long it's been since I got back home. So it's still Wednesday, 1:50 p.m. Yeah, probably not going to make it to work in 10 minutes, and probably not going to be able to, as slow as my bandwidth is on my hotspot. God, I'm having to go through this again. You know, and the thing is that the alley's not blocked. I just came out this way because I like to be able to come out this way, but I forgot when I headed this way that this situation with these branches are like this. Oh man, it's doing it. Oh my God, it's scratching the shit out of my car. Hopefully it didn't just bend my antenna. And why can't the city maintain that shit? Why is that so fucking difficult for the city of Phoenix to just simply not let the bushes overgrow the right-of-ways? Like, isn't that somebody's job? I tell you, if it was my job, there would be no branches like that. I would make sure it got done. And if it wasn't getting done, I'd be reporting it to somebody and saying, hey, I'm overwhelmed by all the branches. I need some more help to cut the damn branches. Nobody takes pride in their work anymore. All right. So I remembered that there's still loads of leftover food at the mechanic shop. As I mentioned a couple days ago, like there was a big spread in the conference room at the mechanic shop, the Hertz mechanic shop. Yeah, there was so many leftovers at the end of the day, and I'm glad they didn't get tossed out, because sometimes when there's potlucks and food and stuff like that, at the end of the meal, way too often, wasteful Americans just throw that shit away. And I was hoping that maybe I could get to take some of it home before it got thrown away, but even better than that, and my gut feeling is that Barry did it. Barry's the shop manager. A lot of people don't like him, but I think that guy's awesome, and my gut feeling is that Barry did it. But somebody took all the food and packaged it up and put it inside that break room refrigerator. Like a night and day difference between that break room and the main break room by where my time clock is. It's just always just, I mean, just difference in cleanliness, difference in just, it's just so much nicer and better. Like Andre always says, that's the Bahamas, so the other one is Zimbabwe. I've never been to either place, so it's not a comparison that I can directly relate to. That was awkward. That guy was slowing down like he was going to make the U-turn there where it says no U-turn, and then I guess he noticed the no U-turn sign and then decided to go forward while I was in the process of passing him because he was nearly coming to a stop. Just in case I wasn't apparent in the video. I was just expecting him to make the U-turn where it says no U-turn. That's what usually happens right there. And once again, we got the right lane completely obstructed, even though the left lane is open, causing no access to the slip lane, which is probably a good thing because there's children crossing the slip lane, and slip lanes are so dangerous to pedestrians. Oh, no, actually what was stopping traffic from going in the slip lane was the pedestrians. And thankfully the guy with the pickup truck with all the stuff in the back of it, the practically sized pickup truck, you don't see practical sized pickup trucks much anymore. They certainly don't make them anymore or sell them new anymore. Yeah, that guy was waiting for the pedestrians. Very nice. So many cars just assume they have the right of way at places like that, even though pedestrians crossing a slip lane always have the right of way. So where was I? Oh yeah, so food's in the break room. Although Barry yesterday, like I came in there during like when his whole crew was having their break, and the second shift lunch break, and there were no plates to be had anywhere, and he was just like, oh man, I brought plates. Well, I'm not one that brought any of the food. I think it was kind of an apocalypse situation, so I'm contributing by bringing a whole bunch of plates. It feels good to be able to help out, and God knows I've got a lot of good food from that in the last 2 days. The brisket is amazing, by the way. Even yesterday, microwaving it and putting it in sesame seed hot dog buns. I made like 2 different brisket sandwiches and a big old slice of pumpkin pie. So that's going to tide me over. So it's going to be 5 to 7 days until I receive my EBT card. did manage to get through to a very helpful person, but that 1-800 number, it was sheer hell. And I should have really set up my other phone to make a video of it, but I was using, so I called with Obama Phone 5 because I realized I was getting busy with Obama Phone, or with my iPhone, in trying to download the next segments of my vlog from the iCloud, because I've learned I need to do that when I'm at home, because once I leave home, it's just very difficult for me at work, between the various Wi-Fi that I occasionally have access to, and then my slow-ass hotspot, and then of course my data through Mint Mobile is just never enough to do that kind of thing. It ends up, in fact, I've actually configured iCloud to never use my mobile data, because I know if it does, it'll just run my ass out of data super quick. And to be fair, since I've changed that setting, I have not run out of data on my Mint Mobile plan since. So that obviously was the right corrective action that I needed to take. So anyway, I want to say the guy in the left lane is going like super slow since he's not actively passing, but actually I think he's going the speed limit. We're doing 35. I'm just not accustomed to anybody doing that speed limit here. Usually at this point everybody's still going something just a little bit under freeway speed, because it's still pretty much like a freeway here. Yeah, 35. I don't think it actually slows down to 35 till that point right there, but anyway, guy in the Chevy Corvette usually slow. But I still feel I'm doing something wrong to pass on the right, so I wasn't going to pass him on the right. I mean, theoretically, you really should never pass anybody on the right. Not including the way I passed that guy in the left turn lane on the right, because he was coming to a stop to supposedly make a left turn, because it was marked no U-turn. And then he decided suddenly to accelerate again, because I guess he was wanting to make a U-turn and didn't see the no U-turn sign. So yeah, I called the 1-800 number from Obama Phone 5. And it's always a little difficult with Obama Phone 5, because a lot of times as soon as I make a call and connect, the screen just goes dark. And with most phone calls, I need to be able to, you know, access the touch tones on the screen, and when I'm doing that thing, it's a little easier for me if I put it on speakerphone. So instead of having to hold it up to my ear and then pull it away from my ear and try to touch tone stuff in and put it back to my ear, I can hear it on the speaker, and then I can operate the touch tones. So it was a bit of a struggle, because Obama Phone 5 kept trying to turn off the screen, but I got through, and the first thing it asked me for was my EBT card number, and it said how many digits, and I knew just looking at what I had written down from the cashier the other day at Fry's, because I asked him, because he was able to get it into the system, so I asked him to write that number down for me so I would have it, because I said I know I'm going to need that number, and maybe if I come back, you know, if I have that number, you can put it in, and I can still get food. I was kind of worried that he might have wrote that. Really, dude? People drive like shit here. So, where that guy tried to plow sideways into me, and I saw damage on that side of his vehicle. Obviously, it's not the first time he's done that maneuver. You try to do a safe following distance, and people just take that as an invitation to just cut you off. It's really fucked up. Not that that's a legitimate reason to tailgate. I've seen people use that as like that's their excuse for tailgating, but it doesn't. One bad behavior doesn't trying to curb one bad behavior doesn't legitimize doing another bad behavior. That is definitely a Model Y on the right. So I'm thinking that one I saw earlier today that I thought was a Model Y was actually a Model 3. There's supposed to be a new car coming from Tesla called the Model 2 that's supposed to be much less expensive and smaller. I'm curious to see how it compares to the Bolt. I tell you, if the Bolt was able to use Tesla's charging infrastructure and was able to also do DC fast charging, also known in the Tesla environment as supercharging. Oh, by the way, we are installing superchargers. Where I said the construction was going on it hurts. For additional chargers, those, and I suspected they were going to be superchargers because of those giant transformers that I shot the video of. Yes, indeed, that is what is going in. There are 4 almost unpacked superchargers that are visible in that area where they're still working on it, and I assume there's going to be more. The amount of space that they're carving up should have more for superchargers, but I think they've only unpacked 4 so far. Oh, I missed the light. I'm going to be just a tiny bit late for work today. Shit, and yesterday, I think I forgot to take a photograph of the time card so I can balance my time like I've been talking about trying to do. I think I forgot to do that. Damn it. I'm not going to remember when I got there. I can kind of remember it now. I think I got there exactly 30 minutes late, or maybe 31 minutes late, and I think I clocked out 1 minute early. Memory serves. Of course, everybody who watches this vlog knows my memory is flawed. But I think all people's memories are flawed. I think that's just part of the human condition, is having a less than perfect memory, and that's why cameras are such good things, and being able to write things down is such a good thing. But yeah, so apparently the guy who wrote my EBT card number down didn't write enough digits. So I was trying to put that in, and it wasn't working with the automated system, which is all touch tone based. It wasn't an AI where I could talk to a robot. I was touch toning to a robot, and that didn't work. But at least after that wasn't working, we seem to be having difficulty. And then it repeated the menu. One of the menu options was to press a button if I had a lost, stolen, or damaged card. I have a damaged card. I can't read the number off of it. It's physically worn out, and then now the magnetic strip doesn't work anymore. And there's Mayflower Cab Company. I really need to approach them. Their website is dysfunctional as hell. I know one time I went to their website, or maybe that was Elite Taxi Company. Nah, it's Elite Taxi Company. They're the cab company that had the broken website. Yeah, I went to the website for Elite Cab Company, which was written on the side of their cab, and I went right to their website, and it actually has what looks like it should be a clickable link to apply to drive for them, but the link doesn't go anywhere. It's a dead link. So many broken things everywhere, and those are things I know how to fix. Like, I know how to fix a broken web link, but I don't think anybody at Elite Taxi Company gives a shit that that's a broken web link. They probably don't. They probably paid some mediocre web designer to design their website, and they don't even actually go to it themselves to see how functional it is. They just did it because some consultant told them they needed to. Probably the person who sold them on the mediocre web services with the broken links. So yeah, I couldn't key it in. I got the lost and stolen card, and it said, well, we need to verify your identification in other ways. And then it asked for me to key in my birth date in a 2-digit for day, 2-digit for month, 4-digit for year thing. And I had to listen while it explained how that worked. I couldn't just go right in and key it in, which was annoying. So I had to wait while it gives this rudimentary explanation of how 4-digit birthday, numerical birthdays are to be entered in. So much stupid I got to contend with every day. So I get past that stupid, I get my date in, and of course I made a mistake because the screen is kind of difficult to use, because I think it's like switched itself off while I was in the middle of keying in my stuff on Obama Phone 5. But so I made a mistake on the first time entering my date, and I had a difficult time getting it to where it reset that and then let me enter my 8-digit birth date from the start. But I got past that, and then it asked me for however many digit case number. Like, my God, why would I even know that? Why would I have that memorized? Who memorizes that? Like, what is that? Where was that number even shown or told to me? I mean, I expect I have a case number. Apparently it's not the same as my EBT number, and I don't know that because it's not legible, because they printed it on the card in such a way that it easily fades and rubs off, instead of embossing it into the card so it's permanent. And so it was quite a struggle of me trying to key that in. And there were several, like, it took quite a while to get through the thing of just that failing. And it said so many, and to remember to put in the leading zeros. Apparently there's a lot of leading zeros on that. That must be a common thing with it. So they're future-proofing the number, and that's a good thing, but damn. Like, your software isn't smart enough to understand that any missing digits are zeros. Because seriously, like, when I say the number 10, I just, you know, when I write down 10, I write a 1 and a 0. I don't have to write like seven leading zeros and then a 1 and a 0. I don't need those leading zeros for a placeholder. If it's just a 1 and a 0, like most algorithms are able to understand, oh, that's 10. If I was trying to put in 810, I would put 8 and a 10. And even if those digits go up to 1,000, like if there's 8 and a 1 and a 0, like, yeah, there's no digit before. We're doing 4-digit numbers. There's a leading 0 there. So yeah, that's how poorly programmed that automated government system is. So anyway, eventually, like, it's like, we're having a problem here. You know, can you know, let's go to our voice system. So it was giving me a chance to speak the number, at which point I said, I don't know my case number. And I don't know if it interpreted what I said or not, but at that point it put me on hold and said it would put me to an representative who could help me. And I was not even on hold 3 seconds. Like, it immediately got me the representative. So if there's representatives available, why not just put me to representative in the first place? Why do I have to go through all that time of just touch tones and ask me for numbers that I don't have, without even giving me the option to press a different number if I don't have the number that it's asking for? Anyway, eventually got to the point where she said, well, she couldn't, you know, for security reasons, she couldn't give me my number, but she goes, I said, well, can you just mail me another card? She goes, yeah, do you have a, you know, is the address still current? Well, then I had the moment where she asked me what my address was, and I couldn't remember my address, because sometimes I have trouble remembering stuff. Unfortunately, I had a document from Social Security handy, so I was able to read it off her, and I almost started crying. I said, you know, I struggle so much with this. I said, this is the problem with all these systems that are in place for people that have mental health problems, is they forget to take into account that people that have mental health problems have mental health problems. They make all this stuff so difficult. It's difficult for a person who doesn't have mental problems. Imagine how it is for somebody who does have mental health problems. Anyway, I was able to read the address, and she was able to confirm that, and that's fine. And she goes, well, it'll just mail it to you. You get mail. And then that reminded me that I haven't checked my mail in quite a while. So I said, you know, can you come with me and let me walk out and see if I can still receive mail? And once again, my fucking postman fucked me again. He scratched out my name on my mailbox and wrote vacant underneath it and stole all my mail. So I got to deal with that again. Fuck my life.